This is a grade 1 mission 4 overview for Zearn Math. Would be module 4 overview for Eureka Math. The title is Add and Subtract Bigger Numbers. The central focus, we're now focusing on numbers, addition and subtraction within 40, moving beyond 20. 20 is really where students can achieve fact fluency or fact automaticity. Up through 20 is as high as they really need to go for success in later math. So now we're really focused on fluent use of strategies within 40, and of course maintaining an emphasis on place value, using higher numbers in the tens place. Extends place value from teens to numbers within 40 by looking at tens and ones separately. So you'll break apart numbers into so many tens and then additional ones. Focuses on addition of 2-digit and 1-digit numbers. With subtraction, it works on subtracting multiples of 10 from multiples of 10, so a little bit easier intro to subtraction. So it moves from comparing 2-digit numbers to adding, subtracting multiples of 10, and then for big strategy for addition within 40 is making the next 10 and adding, and ultimately they end up adding sets of 2-digit numbers, which is probably a little above where they have to go right now, but if you can get them there at least working with strategies, that would be great. Core fluency introduced or carried forward from this mission will be comparing tens and ones of larger numbers. So that's really a good place value activity, is to be able to look at two-digit numbers, comparing them, of course, using the place value, looking at the tens digit first and then the ones digit to determine which one is larger, which one is smaller. Using number bonds to show number relationships is a good combination of addition and subtraction, and then writing addition and subtraction sentences from them. The fact family, really the whole fact family approach is a good way to work on automaticity or approaching automaticity of facts, particularly subtraction, which are harder to attain. And then practicing adding 2-digit and 1-digit numbers within 40. We'll want to continue to work for fluency on that, so that just means more practice than probably even what's included in the lessons that you give every day, and some spiral flat practice needs to happen. And then practicing subtracting multiples of 10 from multiples of 10 within 40, which probably will be a little bit easier. Subtraction gets harder when you aren't working with multiples of 10, of course. The spiral fluency carried forward will be continuing to work on automaticity of facts to 10 and fluency of facts to 20. If they can make it to automaticity of facts to 20, that's great. And then decomposing teens into tens and ones, which that'd be a great intro activity to the days you start breaking apart the larger numbers. Foundational goal here, so at the end, what kids need to be able to do, regardless of all the activities you're going to do with them, is use strategies to add and subtract within 40. I would recommend focusing on counting on or counting down for students who struggle as an anchor strategy. What doesn't go away, so the things that we'll continue to work on, carrying forward automaticity of facts to 10 throughout first grade, should continue to work on that. Fluency with strategies to 20. And then I didn't put it, it's not listed here, but continuing to work on that. Just place value, comparing numbers within 40 to see which is larger or smaller. It's a good fluency activity. Special notes. So special notes, again, are for when you're running low on time or when you're working with a struggling learner. So when there's just not enough time to cover everything and the curriculum is too broad, that's where these hints, I think, can be helpful. Here again, I've mentioned this in Mission 2 about the strategy adding on. They use adding on and make 10 strategies for addition within 40. Really, the best fluency strategy is adding on or counting on. So taking the larger number, ideally they learn to do that, and then counting forward if they have to. The Make 10 strategies have a high cognitive lift, so they're great inquiry-based strategies that challenge the students to think at a higher and deeper level, but not the best choice for fluency if kids are struggling. So in other words, the repetitive nature needed to attain fluency, automaticity, so it means you're committing that fact into long-term memory so that they don't even have to think about it. It's just there. The counting on or adding on strategies would work better. There are some 2-digit plus 2-digit strategies. There are a few that they introduce in these missions. Again, those are all strategies, or multiple variety of strategies, are good for inquiry-based learning and good for teacher-led problem solving, even thinking at a higher level. Really the design is just for kids to be exposed to different aspects of number and to learn the magnitude and value of number on deeper levels. But for struggling learners, when you're running out of time, this may require too much repetition for fluency. So it's good to really anchor in on a strategy and what I mean by that is after you've passed the instruction, when you continue to work on that skill, that's when you're really looking for an anchor strategy. And I just made an example of what I mean by counting on. It may not be exactly what the curriculum calls it, but say we're adding 25 and 37. If students, they should know, and they're going to practice this when they break apart two-digit numbers, they'll know 30 is 30 plus 7, so they break apart 25 plus 30 plus 7. You could have them put that in a number string. But the idea then is they can add 25 and 30 quickly because they know 3 plus 2 by now, or hopefully they do. So that's 55 really quick. And then they can just add the 7, and some may be able to do this in their head, but most at this point are going to have to count on. So using their fingers or a number line, they could count 55 and then up to 7 to get to 62. So when I say count on strategy, that's what I mean. Again, these anchor strategies are more for fluency practice, so the repetitive practice that you do, really best to just key in on one strategy so students get enough repetition of that strategy to understand. And really all that's contained within addition is in the strategy because it's just moving forward literally on a number line. You're adding numbers and they're becoming bigger. So that covers everything they really essentially need to know.